Hey guys, welcome back to Photography for the Rest of Us, a place for people who love photography. My name is Carrie, and today we are talking all things holiday lights and how to balance those holiday lights with an off-camera flash. Guys, it is that time of year again. Lights and family and pictures of family with lights. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about the tips and tricks of photographing Christmas lights or holiday lights with people. These tips and tricks work without people, obviously, as well, but I know a lot of people are questioning how to use their off-camera flash and balance them with, ta-da, our holiday lights. So we have the lovely model, Nora, wave to the people, Nora, who is out of her cast now, and she is modeling for us, and we're going to take some pictures using this Christmas tree and kind of balance that with our off-camera flash. Now, I want you to stay till the end, and this isn't just something that I'm saying for YouTube. We're gonna talk about the proper exposure, but I also wanna show you guys some lens choice options and some different positioning options that help significantly when photographing things like holiday lights, whether you're outside or inside or whatever. So let's get started with figuring out our exposure. Okay, so it seems like it would be one of those really easy basic things, right? Like put person, by tree, take picture, have picture, right? And I mean, yes, you could do it that way, but there's a lot of kind of layers and levels to creating like a really, really magical holiday shot. And that's kind of what I want to go over with you guys. But the first thing we have to do is figure out our exposure. So step one, we're going to make sure that we are metering in spot metering mode. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that that's pretty much what I do all the time. I do shoot in spot metering, I would say 99% of the time, unless I'm doing a video for you guys showing you some other option. What spot metering means is that I am using my manual focus point selection to choose what area of the image I am metering for, and I'm exposing for that area. So if you don't know what words I just said and you haven't been shooting in spot metering or watched my videos before, this is a great video on finding your manual focus point, and then it continues into metering with my 10 steps to shooting in manual. And then if you're setting your camera to spot metering logo looks like this. Couldn't come up with that word. On your camera, they all look like this. It's just a dot, okay? So I'm going to spot meter for the lights. I don't really care if Nora's in proper focus right now. And you'll also notice that it's dark in this room. I have one LED light up for the video for you guys to see, and I might actually end up turning that one off too, depending on if I have too much kind of light flooding in. But I have the room darkened so that I could get that glow. And I'm gonna meter for the lights now. All right, Nora, could you lean up on the edge of the chair, a little even closer? Yep, all the way over. There we go. Very cute. Okay, so let's get in here. Very sweet. Oh, we're waiting for Santa to come. All right, so I am gonna say, okay, so, all right, so it says that I should be exposing for at about f2.8, 1/60th of a second, and ISO 500, and I'm okay with those settings, so let's take a shot. All right, and it looks good here. The lights look great, but as you can see, Nora does not. We can't see her, right? It's super dark for Nora. So easy enough. What I'm gonna do is use a speed light. Now, I'm gonna tell you the truth. What I would be doing if I was doing a regular shoot is not exactly this setup. But what I want to use is an easy setup for you guys so that you can use tools that you probably have at home and tools that I've talked about previously on the channel. So what I would normally probably use is a strobe and a strip box, which is basically just a rectangular box. And the reason for that is that I can control the amount of light that's going towards Nora, and it's not going to hit the Christmas tree. But if you don't have a strip box or a gridded strip box or whatever, the next best thing, and honestly what will absolutely work, because you'll see, because we're about to take a picture with it, would be this setup, which is my absolute go-to for beginning photographers. It's a shoot-through umbrella with a speed light of your choice. an adapter, and I'm gonna put all of these links down in the description. I don't make any money from all of the links, just so that you guys can find them, and on a stand, okay? And then you just need to make sure you have a trigger to trigger the flash. Again, if you haven't, if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, check out my video on getting started with off-camera flash, because I just put that one up and it covers all of this equipment, but I'm using exactly the same setup as in that video. So I'm going to turn it on, and what I'm gonna do is be shooting in manual. So my camera is in manual mode right now, and my flash is also going to be in manual mode, and I wanna set it to a very low power. So for most flashes, that means, or speed lights, that means that it's probably gonna be like 164 or 1-124, depending on, you know, what flash you have. And I'm gonna set it fairly close because this is a tight picture of Nora, so it doesn't really matter. And what I'm gonna do is angle it out just a little bit so that it's not aiming straight for the tree. So I know it's kind of hard to see on the video, but rather than pointing it straight down this way at Nora, where it's angling straight into her face, but also going to hit the tree, I'm gonna come a little bit more to the side, so it looks a little bit more like the tree is actually naturally lighting her face. And then I'm gonna turn it just a little bit so that the light is mostly going straight down towards her from this side, rather than onto the tree as well. So let's see how that looks. Like I said, I have it on really low power, so we might have to adjust, but I think it'll work pretty well. All right, can you sit up just a little bit, scoot your butt all the way back. There you go. And lean just a little bit more in. There we go, very sweet. All right, so I'm not changing my settings at all. I haven't particularly changed where I'm sitting, maybe a little bit. I'm just adding the flash into the picture. 1, 2, 3. Nice, it's a little bit dark and a little bit to one side. So I'm gonna bring it back out just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna turn up the power just a little bit. And this is something that you're going to have to do with your images too. I'm not in your studio. I don't know what, or in your, wherever you are, living room. I don't know what your lighting situation is, but if you spot meter for the lights and then adjust the flash either forward and back or up and down in the power, you're gonna get there to play with it a little bit. If you want Santa to bring you something, a light meter, so that you don't have to play with it, works great, but they're expensive, and honestly, you can get there in a couple of shots, and it's digital, so who cares, right? We're not wasting film. So let's try one more. Very sweet. Can you scoot forward a little? I think that was, there we go. That's better. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Very pretty. All right, so we've got a little bit of shadow on her face, and I think that if I really wanted to play with it, what I would do is put a white piece of poster board in front over here. So I'm just gonna do that. I don't know that it's even gonna add that much for us right now, but I have it and it's set up, so why not? This is called a V-flat, so it's a bigger one. I get it at craft stores. It's great to have in your studio space. You could also use a reflector. You could use a white sheet. You could not use it and just move your flash slightly or move your subject's face towards the light a little bit more, but I have it, so why not? So V-flat or reflector or just white piece of cardboard is fine. This is just foam core that I've taped together and painted one side black. All right, one more time, Bev. Good. Nice, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, much nicer. See how that fills in the shadows on the side of her face? Like, it just gives it a little bit more. Okay, so seems easy enough. Short video, right? Like, we've got our exposure looks good, our light looks good, we've used our off-camera flash, bing, bang, done. But if we look at these pictures, they're not really that like magical, pretty bokeh that so many people like, or what all of us, right, are looking for the holiday picture, right? I can't see the whole tree. This isn't one of those pictures where you see just how well the picture is decorated. The subject is Nora, and the tree just gives it that ambiance. So that's what we're going to work on adding to, is that little bit of the magic. So the first step here is understanding your lens choice and understanding your subject placement. So I'm gonna take the flash away for a second, just so we have some room to move around. Okay. And those shots were taken with her very, very close to the background. So the first thing I'm going to do is move her further away from the tree. And we're gonna take a shot and see how that goes. So hop up for me, love. Great job. We're running into the maximum space in our little tiny studio here. All right, there you go. All right, so all I'm doing is setting up exactly the same settings, same light source, but further away from the tree. So we're closer to the camera now, as you can tell, I'm sure. I think I lined you up okay. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay, so it looks good. You see between these two pictures here, you see the difference in the lights and how they're getting more bokeh, more of those little light orbs that we love so much. And that's great, it's already looking better, but this is where that lens choice thing comes in. We can look even better. So I'm gonna take a couple of different shots at a couple of different focal lengths, and I'm using my Tamron 24-70 2.8 right now. I'm actually gonna switch to the 70-200 as well, because I wanna show you guys a variety. It works exactly the same with prime lenses, okay? So I'm just using this so I don't have to change my lens 16 times for the video. So we're gonna take a couple of shots at a couple of different focal ranges, and we're gonna see the difference that the lens choice makes, because it makes a big difference, and it's called lens compression. So I'm gonna start at 35, and this means that I'm going to have to move significantly as well as I take these pictures, okay? So, because I'm gonna try and take them all so they show about the same amount of Nora. All right, so 1, 2, 3. All right, and keeping in mind, you guys, that changing the compression, or I mean, changing my lens length, which is the compression, but changing my lens length doesn't change my settings at all. So I'm not changing any of my settings on my camera. I can move further away or closer to my subject, because what matters with this isn't my lens choice, it's the light in relation to my subject, right? So none of my settings have to change. I just have to move depending on how I want the picture framed. All right, so 50 millimeters. We gotta get a little closer. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right, I'm gonna go to 70 millimeters. Can you tilt your chin towards me a little more? There we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. And then I'm gonna switch lenses. And if you see on those pictures there, we've already got a really big difference in how the Christmas lights look behind Nora, right? Like, look at those three. Really big difference. So I'm gonna go up to 135. And again, I'm trying to get about the same amount of Nora in each of the pictures. Can you scoot forward for me a little? There we go. Sit up nice and tall. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's 135. And then I'm gonna go all the way to 200. Last shot. I am way behind the camera now. Okay, sit up nice and tall for me, lovey. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. So here is the whole, move in so I can be in the camera. Here's the whole lineup, right, of those lens and those focal lengths. You see how dramatically different the bokeh in the background is? Also, her face shape changes, but that is for another video. But it's called distortion. But my point is that when you're choosing which lens for a shoot, just because a 35 is your favorite, which is fine, I actually love 28. I love being really, really wide when I shoot travel photography and that. But when I'm shooting lights or portrait, I am gonna go for that 70-200 every time, because I want more compression so I can get that magical bokeh behind her. So now for something a little bit more fun, I am gonna go outside and we are going to take some outside pictures to show you that it works exactly the same way when you're not in a studio setting or a living room setting. When you're outside at night and you walk through the beautiful lights that your neighbors have set up. You can get exactly the same types of images, as long as they don't think you're trespassing or anything, and they let you, I guess, in their yard. You can put it up in your yard too, I guess. So we're gonna run upstairs and go outside for a minute and take a couple of shots, and I'll see you in a second. So there you have it, our gorgeous shots using some holiday lights and an off-camera flash and a lovely little model. I'm gonna take a couple more pictures just because we are all set up, and you know, why not? She's adorable. And maybe put some real hot chocolate in that mug for her. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe and the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Bye.